So the materials required for our activity are a bouncy ball not weighing more than 5 pounds as contraindicated with our client, and also with the look and feel of a basketball as our client, Mr. K, really enjoys that sport. So as for setup, another material required will be a chair without armrests, and the starting position will be the client seated in the chair comfortably. Excellent, and the starting position is the client holding the basketball. So the client will start in a seated position with their shoulders flexed as much as their pain and collar limitations allow. Next, the client will throw the ball by extending their elbows towards the therapist who will catch the ball. So this activity will be done with 3 sets of 12 repetitions and with a 2-minute break in between or as tolerated. It's also important to note that the client will not be accepting the ball via a throw, so they won't be catching the ball. Rather, the therapist will be passing the ball back to the client, as we will see in this demonstration. All right, so I want you to sit comfortably with your back straight. Flex or bend your shoulders as much as you can. Excellent. You don't feel any pain?
No.
Good, and I want you to pass the ball to me by flattening out that arm or extending that elbow. Okay, understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we'll do it 12 times, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead. Good stuff. Make sure to bring those shoulders up as much as you can, okay? That's 1. We'll do 11 more.
Like that?
Excellent, yes. Well done. Do you feel any pain?
No, it's hard, but it doesn't hurt.
Okay, so that's 2 done.
Okay.
Good, perfect. And make sure to extend or flatten out that arm as much as you can, okay, when you're throwing?
Yeah. Like that?
Yes.
Okay. So more straight?
Exactly.
Okay.
With bringing those shoulders up. Good. Good stuff. All right, the next one I want you to sit up.
Okay.
As much as you can, just so we can work on that sitting, okay? Good. So there are several ways to grade up and down this activity. I'll start by describing the grade downs, which we will not demonstrate, but I will give you a description. So one of the ways is to get a lighter ball, whether that would be a beach ball or any sort of inflated ball. Another option will be to decrease the number of sets or repetitions as tolerated by the client, as well as a longer break. Also, the distance between the client and the therapist can be decreased or increased to either grade down or up the activity. So now I'll also demonstrate 2 other ways to grade up the activity, one of which will be we will try a more overhead throw. So I see that you have experienced a lot of improvement regarding your range of motion in your shoulders and your elbows.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to do a similar activity to what we've done previously, but I'm going to want you to do more of an overhead throw, meaning more of that shoulder flexion, so that bending of the shoulders, and really bringing those elbows straight like we've practiced. But we're just going to want to bring that ball a little higher, okay?
Okay. Like that?
Yes. Good job. So just to reiterate, our short-term goal is that Mr. K will brush his teeth independently for 2 minutes while seated within 2 weeks. So for our rationale for this activity, our short-term goal targets increasing Mr. K's range of motion in his shoulder and his elbow. We chose this activity of passing a ball as this not only works on Mr. K's range of motion, but it also mimics his leisure activity of basketball, making this activity meaningful to him. This will increase his motivation and engagement while improving his range of motion, which will allow him to achieve his short-term goal.
And we consider this a remedial activity because we're actually working directly on increasing Mr. K's range of motion instead of adapting and finding a way to compensate for his current limited range of motion. This is also what we consider a motor learning activity as it requires repetitions, as opposed to being task-oriented, as it's not necessarily being completed in a natural environment, and it doesn't directly mimic the activity of his short-term goal to brush his teeth independently while seated. Furthermore, in this activity, Mr. K receives extrinsic feedback from the therapist through verbal communication.